Good evening. On this Good Friday, there's not so good weather news getting into the Easter weekend. It's a forecast that resembles one more like for Christmas. Joe Bartosik, what's going on out there?
Well, Joe Cadotte, we're going to see a bunch of cold air.
For the past year, Dane Ferguson of Anchorage has been supporting victims of the war in Ukraine through humanitarian missions. Tonight, he got a hero's welcome from friends and family at Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Ferguson is a member of the Alaska Snow X Lions Club and returns to his family in Anchorage after helping evacuate women and children from the front lines of the war in Ukraine, as well as helping those who can't escape war by bringing food and medical supplies to families stuck on the front lines. And even though he's excited to be back, his work in Ukraine might not be over yet.
There's a lot of people in need over there. There's a lot of work to be done over there. And although I am very excited to see my family and see my friends and get back to Alaska for a little bit, I really look forward to getting back over there as soon as I can and doing more good work.
We'll have more on Ferguson's story tomorrow. Join us then at Alaska's News Source. Last night, we brought you a live look of the Boeing 727 cargo jet that was purchased by Joe Cadotte, who is a flight trainer as he prepared to drive the big plane into the big lake where his school is located. Well, after a one-day delay and a 6-hour drive up the Glen Highway, the plane has successfully made it to its final destination. The plane departed Merrill Field at about 9:45 last night, and the plane did have to make its way through Anchorage before hitting the highway, leaving bystanders to stop and stare to catch a glimpse of it all, although the plane's new owner said the journey went off without any real issue.
Yeah, people were pretty respectful and having a good time watching it go by. You know, the trickiest parts were probably just the initial movement off the field, getting all the rigging set, making sure that the aircraft was behaving properly on the dollies and all the gear.
Cadotte has been working with a small crew of people to help him get his new plane from Big Lake, from removing parts of the plane such as the wings, nose, and tail, to preparation for getting it down the highway. The 727 is the third airplane Cadotte has transported to his property. His plan is to transform the plane into student housing for his flight training school, as well as a unique Airbnb. The rising cost of housing in Anchorage seems like it has no end in sight. As the cost of rent in the city continues to rise, hotels are being converted into low-income apartments in the city, and officials say this is putting a dent in the housing crisis across the area. The cost to rent an apartment in Anchorage is on the rise, with the average cost of a one-bedroom apartment between $1,300 and $1,400 per month. That's according to Jason Bockenstedt, the executive director of the Anchorage Affordable Housing and Land Trust.
And that's increased 10-15% over the last year. So, you know, finding something that is affordable for those that with low to extremely low incomes is super important.
Friday, Anchorage Assembly members and others got a tour of the old Lakeshore Hotel in Spenard that's converted into apartments as part of 3 hotels that have either already been converted or are being converted. Felix Rivera is the chair of the Housing and Homelessness Committee in Anchorage.
We need roughly 2,400 units of workforce housing, permanent supportive housing, low-income housing. So that is a lot. And so projects like these are going to help fill that gap.
Bockenstedt says this is not a homeless shelter, nor is it emergency housing for low-income people. Rather, it's apartments tailored to people who are having difficulty finding an apartment because they don't make a lot of money, they don't have great credit, or have poor rental history.
We want to be responsible, we want to be good neighbors, but you know, ultimately this is, you know, hopefully a solution to, you know, some of the affordable housing issues that we have.
The already converted former guest house hotel downtown, the former Barrett Inn currently being converted also in Spenard, and the Lakeshore Hotel, in all, will provide about 300 low-income units in the city. Bockenstedt and Rivera says it doesn't completely solve the lack of affordable housing in Anchorage,
It puts a big dent in the issue, though.
It's absolutely critical, right? I mean, we know that we need to give folks an opportunity for them to thrive. And the first step that we need is housing, right? And so that's why we are a housing first municipality, because we know that housing is so critical. We are in a crisis.
The project in total will cost about $16 to $18 million. Officials at Friday's tour say the project is completely funded by federal and private dollars. We'll have more information on how to apply at alaskasnewssource.com. And one Anchorage Assembly member is trying to ban the use of facial recognition technology by city government. This would include APD as well as members of the municipality. Many airports use facial recognition technology. The municipality doesn't use it. According to Assemblymember Joey Sweet, he says this ban will prevent the municipality from acquiring it. Sweet says some of the goals are to protect civil liberties and individual data privacy. He also says not using facial recognition technology will prevent the municipality from relying on potentially inaccurate and harmful technologies.
It's not a 100% blanket, no exceptions ban. It's more like it regulates its use while preemptively preventing municipal entities from being able to acquire it willy-nilly. There are no regulations right now. Therefore, we could wake up tomorrow to see a headline that says, you know, facial recognition is being used on everyone in Anchorage. I don't think that that's an acceptable set of circumstances.
Sweet's ordinance also includes some exceptions where the technology could be used, a possible process where municipal agencies would have to go to the assembly and ask for specific permission. If you're a podcast listener, you can get the day's news and weather on the Alaska News Source podcast. Download, like, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Up next on the late edition, a ruling by a federal judge suspends the FDA's longtime approval of an abortion pill. When we come back. UAA is shutting down its Department of Theater and Dance. On top of that, Jill Flanders Crosby, the professor who has been a driving force in the department, is retiring. Tonight is her last performance at the Anchorage Museum, and in tonight's All Good News, Dave went to Jill's last dress rehearsal with her former students and colleagues.
We are moments of our emotions, and we embody the music that moves us. We are our feet, and we are our minds extending to the sky. We are symbiotic to the sounds that surround us. And we are finite.
Oh, it's bittersweet, but there's always a time when it's time to move on.
In the tapping and ticking of time,
you do something for a while and then you let go and do something else.
Jill Flanders Crosby has given her mind and body.
And you find a new place and a new grace and a new way to be in the world.
For almost 45 years, Jill Flanders Crosby has been doing and teaching this at the University of Alaska, Anchorage.
Our jazz classes were about working with jazz music and knowing what it means to dance jazz.
Swaying and expanding the way students think and feel about the world around them.
More than anything in the world, it's an amazing, amazing gift.
She shares the gift of what she knows and her passion.
If you're lucky enough, you get transported in performance.
Former colleagues and students have united for one last dance together.
And it's such an honor for me to be able to dance with Jill and Catherine. I mean, they're my mentors.
She is the reason that I'm doing what I'm doing today. And
because April 7th, 2023 will be Jill's last performance.
I'll never let go of dance, but I'll let go of the performance. And I'm okay with that.
The last rehearsal before the sun sets on another turn of the earth.
To me, it's a tremendous reunion to celebrate all that Jill and the UAA dance program has been able to gift to the community and to the world of dance.
The universe serving up its fluidity of irony, the dance program Jill gave her life to, is ending.
I'm sad about that. I think I would feel better if I was walking away and the program was continuing rather than being discontinued. But it's out of my hands.
As Jill says goodbye.
Oh, she's retiring, but It's the beginning of her next chapter.
What's left is molecules in perpetual motion, letting the dance do what it will.
Released.
And that's the all good news.
Budget cuts are to blame for the UAA, saying they're shutting down the Department of Theater and Dance. Jill says that won't keep her from performing. She plans on continuing dance instructing and being a guest instructor at several universities. I don't know about that
Only
green
in
grass.
Easter baskets. Only in Easter baskets.
There you go.
Austin, so.
So that's
Yeah.
all I can think about is that beach that you showed in California. It was
know.
California, right? And,
Yeah, it
there-
was California. I know. Yeah,
there's a part of me that's still back there now.
Again, think warm thoughts. Think warm thoughts. As we go right into the Easter weekend, we're going to see snow breaking out during the middle part of the day tomorrow, increasing in intensity and coverage as we head into Saturday night. And snow could be still heavy at times throughout the day on Sunday. I'm still thinking about 6 to maybe 10 inches of snow. We'll watch that forecast very carefully heading on into the weekend. Check us out on Alaska's News Source.
All right, from everyone here, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.